Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another UNC Hoops Talk podcast. We got a big one for you today. It is the season predictions podcast that we do every year where I ask you guys and give my predictions for what's going to be the record and how far we're going to go and all that good stuff this year. So it's a big one. We're going to jump right in. But before we do, if you're watching on video, you can see I'm testing out a new mic. So if you're listening to this as well, I'd love feedback. Does it sound better, worse? Can't tell a difference. I'd love to hear what you think. But also, before we jump in, it's a great time. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast all the time, for sharing it, liking it, listening to it. All that stuff really helps. But also, if you want to become more of a supporter for the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/UNC Hoops Talk. And for as little as $1 a month, you can kind of help. And as we get more support for that, obviously I'm going to put more into the podcast. We're going to do more of them. I'd love to at some point be able to get to where we're doing pre-game, post-game shows, that kind of stuff. So support the podcast at patreon.com/UNC Hoops Talk. And also, if you did not send in your prediction for this show, don't miss it next year. Also, I'll say it's not too late this year. Send it in. It's at All Tar Heel Dan on Twitter, Instagram. You can email me at unchoopstalk@gmail.com. Send yours in. I'll add it to this list on this video in the description or this podcast. And we'll come back at the end of the season and we'll see where we were right, where we were wrong, all that good stuff. Just keeps us accountable. And it's kind of fun to do. We do it every year and you guys have been awesome about supporting it. And this has always been a big podcast. So without any more of that stuff, we're going to jump right into this episode of the season's predictions. And I'm going to start with my prediction just so I get it out there in front. Obviously, I see your guys' predictions as it comes in, but I didn't copy anybody's. I didn't go off of that. And if you've listened to the past, we didn't do one last year because of how crazy was the scheduling. We just didn't know how many games we were going to play, all that good stuff. So we didn't do it. But if you've listened in the past, I kind of give myself 1 or 2 game leeway here. So without further ado, my prediction for this season, the 2021-22 season for the Tar Heels basketball season, is I think we're going to go 9-2 in the non-conference. We get some tough games in the non-conference, and if you haven't seen the schedule, go to goheels.com. The schedule's up there. They're starting to get game times up there. But we play Purdue, who's going to be pretty good. We're going to play either Villanova or Tennessee after Purdue, depending who wins and loses and what we do. We got Michigan at home in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. So we got some tough ones. UCLA is going to be good again this year. They're going to be top 5 preseason here, coming off that runner-up finish last year. So we got some really tough games. I think we're going 9-2 in the non-conference. I said we're going to go either 17-3 or 16-4 in the ACC, which should easily be top 3. I mean, really, you think about what teams are going to only lose 3 or 4 games in the ACC. We should easily be top 3. That could win the ACC. And as I even think about that, is that a little bit too optimistic for us? We have a good schedule. We got Virginia at home this year. We don't have to go to Virginia. Virginia Tech we got at home. The games we go on the road are more the bottom half. Although we are at Louisville, obviously we're at Duke. We're at Clemson, Florida State. We have at home. NC State, of course, we play both places, but I put three or 4 losses in the ACC. I think that might be a little bit optimistic as I think about it, but and then I said we're going to win the ACC tournament going into Hubert Davis's first year. I think he's going to put a little bit more emphasis on the ACC tournament. I think we're going to win that, and that's an awesome record right there in itself. But obviously a good enough team to go to the Final Four and win it all. But I think I put that we're going to lose in the Elite 8. So we'd be 3-1 in that tournament, with a double bye in the ACC tournament. If we did do that well in the regular season, that would be 3 wins there. So my overall record was either 31-7 or 32-6, with that little bit of leeway in the conference play that I gave myself. Which phenomenal first year for Hubert. If that happens, that would be pretty awesome. Maybe a little optimistic. If we do have that record, we're obviously good enough to go to the Final Four. And again, we have to put the caveat out there. Obviously, we're all cheering for a national championship. We're not, cheering for our prediction here. I'm not cheering for us to lose in the Elite 8. Of course, I want to go to the Final Four and win it all. and that's with everybody else's picks here. Don't harp on somebody saying, "Oh, they're not a UNC fan," or we're just picking what we think is going to happen. So I thought I would start with kind of my other kind of co-hosts in the past, Gil and Blake, who've been on a lot lately with their predictions before getting into all of your guys's. So Gil, he's at Yogi Gil on Twitter. He set a regular season record of 23-8, top 3 ACC finish, ACC tournament champs, and a Final Four in Hubert's first year. So pretty close to mine, but he did have the Final Four in there. So, of course, Gil being optimistic as he always is. And then Blake is at Blake KCMO on Twitter. Set a top 3 finish in the ACC. So we all had that. He said we should go into the tournament with at least a 5 seed. And if we're top 3 in the ACC, we're definitely top 5. I'd say we're even better than that. But anyway, this is his prediction here. He says Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8 if they get a good seeding or have a good strong postseason run. So that's Gil and Blake's predictions. Now we're getting into your guys's, and these will be in the description of this podcast, this video, wherever you're taking it in. If I read too fast, I'm trying to not make this too long. And so if you want to kind of see it, they're there. And also I put everybody's name and either Twitter handle, Instagram, wherever they gave me the prediction at, it's there. And so we do have some from Twitter, some from Instagram. We do actually have some from Discord. I recently, with the help of Andrew, started a Discord server. If you're on Discord, you're a big Tar Heel fan, let me know and we'll get you in there. We're trying to get that up and going here. But we got a Discord server going as well. So hopefully that'll be fun this season. But anyway, off Twitter, Mark Chris at MarkyD0522 says we're going 24-7 in the regular season. ACC tournament. He says we get to the championship game, and then he said we'll go to the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament. We'll have a better shooting team this year and a solid defensive team. Joe Thompson is at DES is the coach on Twitter. First time in a long time. Have no idea what to expect. Add some anticipation. He says we'll go 22-9 in the regular season, 3rd or 4th in the ACC, 2 wins in the ACC tournament. So that should be about going to the championship game as well, and a 3 seed in the tournament with a Sweet 16 run. Michael May is at Mike May 23 on Twitter. Someone else beat him to his record, but he says we're going 22-9 in the regular season and a trip to the Sweet 16. BillsMafia, and they are at Bills0327 on Twitter. He just gave me a record. He said we're going 27-9. Dalton Owenby is at Dalton_Owenby on Twitter, 26-10 and an Elite 8 run. At Heels Yes on Twitter says that we're going to finish with a 24-7 record. Let's see, that would be overall record. Lose in the ACC championship game, make an Elite 8 and lose in the Elite 8. Jeff G is at Steel Heel 40. Says we're going 24-7 and a trip to the Sweet 16. A lot of those Sweet 16s and a lot of those about 7-loss records. Lori Blair Mercer is at Carolina Chick, CHIC 23 on Twitter. Overall 21-10, finished 3rd in the ACC tourney and make it to the Sweet 16. Shaked is at Sports Guy Shows on Twitter, 21-10 record with a Sweet 16 appearance. John B is at N2 UNC. He says we're going to go to the second round of the NCAA tournament, split with Duke, and be 20-11 overall. Arena Katuna, hopefully I said that right, but she is at Arena. It's ARINA COTUNA on Twitter. 21-10 overall, 12-8 in the ACC. Lose in the second round, the round of 32. Steve Wolf Sr. is at Steve Wolf 44. He says we're going 23-8 into the Elite 8. Michael Quick is at Big Punisher 78. He says we're going 16-4 in the ACC, 25-6 overall. ACC regular season champs and a Final Four berth. Trey Stennett is at Trigga_Trey, and that's with 2 G's and 2 A's. We're going 25-6 in the regular season, be second in the ACC, a semifinal ACC tourney, and an Elite 8 run. Chandler is at Chan Collins 40 on Twitter. I say they will go 25-6 in the regular season, and they will place 3rd in the ACC tourney, be eliminated in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. William Clark is at William B. Clark 3. I expect a healthy Carolina to win at least 23 games. Winning the ACC may be a little tough. I believe they can. And then we have the ability to make the Sweet 16. George is at British Tar Heel on Twitter. We're going to reach the Sweet 16 and win the ACC. Shout out to George. He also has a pretty good UNC podcast as well. Make sure you go over and give him a listen. Shout out to him. But he also says we're finally going to shoot more 3-pointers than the last 2 seasons combined. Mark Kriggs is at Kriggs_23. We've got our Heels going 9-2 in the non-conference, 14-6 in conference. They will reach the semis in the conference tournament and get to the Elite 8. Sarah is at UNC Cat, 22-9. Hopefully, a run to the Elite 8. Andrew Braun is at DrewFitAT. He's the one that has helped me with Discord as well. He says we're going 24-7 overall, 14-6 in the ACC. In the tourney, get knocked out in Elite 8. He said that I think they'll lose in the ACC championship game as well. Elaine Floyd is at Elaine Floyd. Regular season record 22-8. I think we'll lose in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament. Make a Sweet 16 NCAA tourney run. And her UNC Duke prediction is 2-1 with us losing the game at Cameron. That would be Coach K's final game there. That would be an awesome one to win, obviously, but tough one as well. And then last one for Twitter is at DT Goulet. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's Goulet. Gives us a 25-6 final. 25-6 record going to the Final Four. He says, I feel it in my bones. And so this year we actually only got one off of Instagram. It was tarheel4l.wire. Go give him a follow over there on Instagram. He says, my prediction for this coming season is 24-7 or 25-6 with us winning the ACC championship, making it to at least the Elite 8. Though I generally feel that we have a shot at the Natty with all the pieces we have on the roster. As long as everything comes together and all the players are locked in, the sky is the limit. And then I believe we only have one off of Discord as well. It was Josh G, known as Rowdy over there on Discord. And he gave a nice big explanation for his prediction here. So he says, I'm going with a 24-7 record for this season. My prediction is based on the freshman class from last season, taking a big step up, especially Caleb Love, and leading us to a good tournament run. I think we have 3 really hard non-conference games in Purdue, UCLA, and Michigan. Other than those, I think we should do good in that part of the schedule. Conference play is pretty hard to predict. I think the ACC is going to be better this year than last year, so I think we lose 4 to 6 conference games. I think the ACC tournament is definitely winnable if we can get a double bye, which I think we will. And then he finishes off, says, I think if this team can learn to play with each other and adapt to any changes in the system, I think we're plenty talented enough to be playing in the final couple games of the year. Right now, I'm going to go with Elite 8, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them go all the way. And so hopefully I did that quick enough, but also not too fast that you can still follow along. But really, that's all we got for this podcast here. Again, looking forward here, we're starting to get stuff ramped up for basketball. Late night for Roy. Well, sorry, it's not late night with Roy, obviously. Late night in HD, I think is kind of what they're calling it, is this Friday night starting at 7:30 Eastern. It just says late night on the schedule, but I think they're calling it late night in HD. Obviously for Hubert Davis. Be exciting to kind of see the guys for the first time. That's coming. And then early November, we got the exhibition games. We're getting right into the season. So again, this podcast, I'm hoping another reason I want to keep this one as short is so we can talk, hopefully maybe get Blake and Gil or one of them on after late night next week and kind of talk about what we saw there, overanalyze all that stuff. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. Make sure you're subscribed either on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this podcast so that you'll get that. We don't have a great schedule as far as days when I post. It's kind of like whenever I got time and when stuff has happened for us to talk about. So again, hopefully next week we'll have one. If you're subscribed, it'll come right into your feed. On YouTube, you can hit the notification bell and it'll tell you when we're going live. You can even catch it live. We do them all live on YouTube, but it'll also tell you that the video is there and you can watch it there. But again, I appreciate all you guys' support. Thank you for everybody that sent in your prediction. And yeah, ready and excited. Everybody's saying at least Sweet 16, Elite 8 runs. We got some Final Fours in there. It's going to be a great season, and obviously the exciting one because we don't know exactly what is coming with Hubert as the coach. So a lot to look forward to. Appreciate you guys. Support the podcast. Get over to patreon.com. And yeah, just keep sharing it out and listening, guys. I love you guys for that. But that is all I got for this week. Until next week, hopefully, or at least next time, go Heels.